What's up, people? This is AFDS coming to y'all with a new YouTube video. And for today, we're going to be sketching y'all's OC in our art style. With these sketches, honestly, the issue is that a sketch that's supposed to be like 30 minutes at most, for me, ends up being 1 hour plus, especially when I add some colors and stuff. So these are a bit more than sketches, honestly, if you ask me. But yeah, I also wanted to add that this is a video idea I got from Goop Scully. So check out his Instagram, check out his YouTube. He has an amazing artist. You can see some good work there. With no further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for the first one, we got Prince the Mangaka on Instagram. This was the first of this whole series in general, so I was honestly trying to figure out exactly how much detail I wanted to do. But thankfully, Prince actually was really forthcoming, having a couple references that I could use. And even the morning of the actual stream, he produced another one, which is the one you're all seeing right now. That was a major one that I used to actually complete this piece. Let's see. As you can kind of see in that first sketch there, I kind of had the background showing, which points to the fact that I was actually going to make this a bit more detailed than I initially planned. I know I wanted to give him based on the emo vibe I'm kind of getting from the reference image he gave me here, and the fact that the clothing looks like the wind was blowing. I think that was a big reason why I decided to put the character kind of above the city line, have him pointing into the wind, kind of like how Eren was in AOT. We still have more enemies over there type, what he was doing. But yeah, that was the idea for this one. Honestly, this is definitely a pretty detailed sketch. But yeah, I just wanted to put something nice in the background to kind of highlight everything. And yeah, for a lot of these art pieces, usually the line art and sketching phase is usually the longest because I'm trying to figure out the layouts and stuff. And as soon as I got that, the coloring, the rendering, all that, just like clockwork, it gets done. But yeah, you can see here, just got a couple of compositing tricks here to kind of make it look kind of nice. And like that, we've got it complete. Here we got some art for Spicy Art _ official. She's an OG as far as the Patreon, Discord, lifetime has been for AFDS as a whole. Here she gave me a simple headshot of a mermaid. I had to figure out how to do like a whole body pose while capturing and kind of like the vibe that the headshot gave. And it was a bit tricky at first, but I know since I'm a mermaid, I just decided I'm going to go for, a mermaid on a rock, like, the old stories used to say. And in this case, the sketching process was pretty quick. I didn't take too long on this. I think, I mean, the glasses were a scary part for sure. I don't like drawing glasses, by the way. I hate drawing glasses. But anyway, I wanted to rely more heavily on the rendering for this case. So, I kind of did the sketch pretty decent speed and then jumped straight into getting those flat colors in there, trying to figure out what the right colors would be for, a mermaid on the ocean. And I think the biggest thing that did worry me, I guess, as far as what I'd be able to achieve would be, capturing the water. Although I do feel I did a pretty decent job considering, it's supposed to be a really sketchy kind of art piece. And I love the rendering on, like right below the clavicle. And yeah, as soon as I got that water behind, everything pretty much came naturally, pretty smooth. And yeah, this was actually a pretty fun one to do. Thank you, Spicy. Here we've got some art for an awkward sheep, who is actually another OG, as far as Patreon and Discord and Twitch and all of them is concerned. And for her, we got a mage here, and I actually finally started with the hands because I think I just wanted to lock in the hands. I wanted something mystical for the hands, and I wanted to lock those in immediately. So I just went ahead and I'm gonna start with this one. Actually, because there's so much of a background for this one, this was way quicker than all the others actually. So I actually had to slow down the video you're all seeing here of this time lapse. And yeah, I got the sketch down pretty quickly. Got the second pass down pretty quickly. And yeah, pretty soon you'll see. Yep, there we go. Add the colors in. Yeah, this one was actually really fun to do. A lot of people on the live and noted at the same time that it gave like heavy storm. This was heavy storm vibes. So I was glad I was able to capture that in this piece. And that's what made me do lightning in the end. But yeah, this was actually pretty fun. I also got to test a different perspective from the others. And yeah, I love this piece. I love the mystical vibe. Thank you, An Awkward Sheep. Here we got some art from CMG Villager. And honestly, it was actually a pretty fun one to do. Oh, I will say though, this is the point in which this is where I started kind of figuring out like, wait, these sketches are getting way too detailed or way too intricate because I kind of put it on myself to capture the energy of what I wanted here exactly. I was thinking, I wanted her to be, a princess, a black young princess that's kind of prostrating. And you'll see later, but unfortunately I thought of this before I actually figured out what the background would be. One big issue you can see here was you can see her face. I kept having to redraw it multiple times because sometimes what happens with faces is that when I draw the base sketch, the posing sketch, that's the initial sketch you'll see in my art, I will just kind of do the face. And the face I draw on top of that doesn't really follow the actual position in which I wanted it to face based on the original sketch, if that makes sense. And that's what you get, I have to go back and keep redrawing that. So this one took longer because I kept having to draw the face. But, after that, CMG and the others on the stream worked together to figure out how to, as you can see, figure out the blues. You see some things changing here and there. And once we got done with that, the background, I decided to put on a balcony, kind of going outside, which is why I feel like the pose wasn't exactly perfect for that, but it was pretty decent for what I had here. Yeah, I wanted some light reflecting from inside the building. Let's say she just got out of a party, and then some light from the moon or like the night sky reflecting on her face. But yeah, this one was pretty good. This was the last one for that stream that day, and it was pretty awesome to finish. But yeah, thank you, CMG. This was tough. For here, we've got actually a pretty fun one. This was from Kadir M. Mohammed. And we've got, a soccer player. And, I try to capture that one Flash meme, Wally West, I think. That one Wally West meme where he's kind of like jumping in the air or something, running pretty fast. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But anyway, try to capture that with this. I want to just make this kind of a fun one. This is kind of out of order. This was actually the second sketch that I did in all of these. From last week, and yeah, it was pretty good because I feel like I was getting a bit more confident as far as the proportions and like the framing of the characters in this one. But yeah, I really wanted this one to be pretty fun and as energetic as I could make it. So you see here, I got through the line art pretty quickly. Then I added the colors. And my favorite part, the part that makes this most amazing is the background. And this is the thing that made me say I have to add backgrounds to these sketches. It's just gonna be what it is. Because I was able to get some clouds in here, and accidentally, it's one of those happy accidents when you're drawing, the clouds almost seem like they're propelling her forward. I think this was something that was really amazing to see. I love capturing the energy. And yeah, thank you so much, Kadir. Hope you like it. Here we've got another piece for An Awkward Sheep, and actually this one was, I believe, probably the most challenging out of all of these that I've done, surprisingly. And it isn't even because of the posing and stuff, even though I had kind of a funny position that I had initially. I think the most challenging part for this one, and you will see in a couple of moments, is the rendering. But here you have me, I'm just trying to figure out some of the proportions of the body, how to make the head smaller. One thing I often like to say, or not often, but I've told people before is, the rule of the 8 heads thing. I don't believe in that rule personally. I feel like if you want to figure out proportions, you just have to draw enough to where you can look at the character and know the head is too big or the head is too small. And I feel like that makes sense because, you're a regular person. If you saw someone on the road with like a big head, you will know the person has a big head. I don't know why I went into that little sidebar there, but that's essentially the idea for what I just did here with this proportion of the head. But yeah, after I got that proportion done, I'm just going through here trying to get some of the details with the body, and here's where I start the background, and that's where I feel like the most challenging part of this piece came into play, because again, I didn't want it to be terribly detailed, but I wanted to do a thing where someone someone is sitting kind of within like some trees, and you can see some light passing through the leaves and reaching on them. And I feel like, I ended up, completing it, ended up having something decent at the end. But if I wanted to go more detail, I definitely would have done a lot more work in making sure that it resonated well. But that's the thing, compositing can always save the day. And I was able to kind of remedy some of my gripes using compositing. But yeah, here we have the compositing question. Thank you so much, Nakoshi, for another one, and can't wait to see more of yours. But yeah. And last but certainly not least, we have Paladin Demo, and we have his OC here. As you can see, I was surprised by this one because I got this one relatively quickly, despite the fact that it was the first one. And I think honestly I have to give credit to the fact that I did those couple. You see the warm-ups that started up this whole piece. Yeah, those were pretty much helpful in getting this pretty quickly. I'd say my favorite part of this is the fact that I was able to capture her expression extremely extremely quickly. I wanted to give her kind of a regal vibe. Maybe someone was kind of like, and you'll see later on, kind of like just changing in a tent, maybe like a princess or something of that nature. Kind of a temptress vibe, I guess is what I'd say. Yeah, that's the vibe I did for her, and I think I was able to capture that pretty well. Yeah, I had a different sketch for the armor, as you can see there, but I had to change that when I was actually given a proper reference image to use. And yeah, that actually really helped. But yeah, I actually wonder, why do they often draw female characters having kind of that pose for the hand? I always wonder. If y'all know, let us know in the comments down below. But yeah, here we have, me kind of adding the actual colors of the piece. Another fun part was actually doing the linen fabric that you'll see shortly that was hanging over her arm, and kind of allowing some light to pass through certain areas to give it that realistic vibe. But yeah, as you can see there. But yeah, this is a really fun piece to do. Thank you so much, Paladin Demo, and I hope you like it. That's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed creating these. If you would like to be a part of this, go ahead and give us a follow and join the streams at twitch.tv/AFDS_BM. And if you would like to get a chance to get more than one of these done each month, go ahead and become a member of our Patreon at patreon.com/AFDSBM. That's how you get access to joining on these type of live streams. And yeah, also don't forget to give us a follow on all the socials, especially our Instagram. Go ahead and hit subscribe below on the YouTube. And yeah, I kind of messed up the outro there, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome rest of your week, and as always, enjoy.